Now, I don't have a problem with the Prime Minister going to all these gigs. What I do have a problem with is the same Prime Minister telling 34 OECD members in Paris a couple of months ago about climate change, and I quote, "The fight against climate change must be at the heart of global cooperation. Our goal is for Australia to be a renewable energy superpower," unquote. My judgment on that is that every syllable is rubbish. We've only got to look at Germany, now under a Green coalition, firing up mothballed coal-fired generators because their dear old renewables can't do the job. Austria is following Germany, reverting to coal power. And then there's the Netherlands, expecting farmers to achieve a 40% drop in emissions that would require 30% fewer cattle. Yet the Netherlands is the world's second largest agricultural exporter in the world, but now their farmers are being targeted. So thousands of tractor-driving farmers were demonstrating east of Amsterdam, arguing that the future of farmers is being destroyed by this net zero alarmism. Well, back to the hypocrisy at the MCG, because the generation of electricity only contributes 32% towards greenhouse gas emissions, if that were a problem. Transport is 18%, agriculture 14%. The emissions from transport and agriculture are 32%, about the same as for electricity generation. Yet here is the co-author of the 82% renewables by 2030 ALBO, in 8 years' time that is, Prime Minister Albanese flying everywhere in his private jet, rubbing shoulders with billionaires at an MCG lunch who've all flown in on their private jets. And there's the corporate world brown-nosing to the same Prime Minister who's telling them that the world will be a better place as we push to 82% renewables in 8 years' time, and not one of them with the guts to say to the Prime Minister Albanese, "You better think again, Albo, you're the author of an economic suicide note," unquote. The biggest winner at the MCG on Saturday was not Geelong, but hypocrisy. And I want to make one other point. Everywhere we turn these days, the Prime Minister is the big Rabbitohs supporter, South Sydney Rugby League, in his blood. Really? In another age, and I have resisted saying this before, but I'm saying it now, as mailman say, bugger it. In another age, I was approached by George Piggins to come to South Sydney as head of its football operations to, along with George and his wife Nolene, save the club. I just finished coaching Balmain. I had a busy professional life. I didn't really have the time, but I believed in South, so I took on the gig. I first raised money from Kerry Packer. We had very few players. I won't go into the detail. But I want to tell you, I can name leading figures. One of them is Albo, whom I never cited, and George never cited, and Nolene never cited when the gloves were off at South Sydney. We were thrown out of the competition. We didn't see them. We fought our guts out in the courts and outside the courts to save Souths. Those who profess today that Souths is in their blood were uncited. I repeat, the biggest grand final winner on Saturday at the MCG was hypocrisy.